Listen, most people do not just wake up broke one day. It doesn't happen overnight. It happens slowly. It's those tiny, daily habits we completely ignore. Hey everyone, I'm Aditya Kumar, and welcome back to Next Billion. In our last explainer, we laid the groundwork for personal finance. But today we are tackling the absolute most important skill, especially for all of you university students out there trying to manage your very first real budget. Let's get into it. Financial ruin is basically a slow drip. It's not usually one massive purchase. It's that gradual, creeping process of buying things you really don't need. Like that third campus coffee to get through a lecture or those random late-night food deliveries. It happens when we just kind of close our eyes and ignore where our limited funds are draining to every single month. And then, bam, you reach the end of the month. You open your banking app, take a deep breath, look at your balance, and ask yourself the ultimate question. Wait, where did all my money go? Honestly, it's so frustrating to work those part-time campus jobs, grind out all those hours, and feel like you literally have nothing to show for it. So here's our roadmap for today's explainer. 1. The paycheck to paycheck trap. 2. The true meaning of budgeting. 3. Beware of lifestyle inflation. 4. The 50-30-20 rule. And 5. Taking control today. All right, let's dive straight into section 1, the paycheck to paycheck trap. It's crazy to think about, but some people work for 20 solid years and still live paycheck to paycheck. No way, right? But it's true. And this happens not because they aren't making enough money, but purely because they never learned how to budget when they were young. If you guys can't master controlling a tight student budget right now, it becomes almost impossible to build real wealth later on. Moving right along to section 2, the true meaning of budgeting. Think about the difference here. Instead of sitting there in passive confusion, wondering where did my money go, budgeting is all about active, intentional control. It's about you stepping up and deciding exactly where your money should go. That mindset shift is an absolute game changer. At its core, budgeting simply means giving every single dollar a specific purpose. For a university student, a budget definitely does not mean you're doomed to eat ramen every single night. Actually, scratch that. It's the exact opposite. It's about becoming so intentional that you can actually afford the things that really matter to you. Rich people don't get wealthy by just throwing money at whatever. They manage it carefully, because money that isn't controlled, it just disappears. Okay, section 3. Beware of lifestyle inflation. This one sneaks up on you. So human nature tells us that the more people earn, the more they spend. Even right now in college, right? Think about when you land a slightly better paying summer job or suddenly get a juicy refund check. The temptation is huge to immediately upgrade your phone, grab new clothes, or start eating off campus way more often. But doing that means your expenses slowly start growing faster than your income. And this right here is exactly why, even after you graduate and land some fancy job making 6 figures, you can still find yourself absolutely drowning in debt. It happens all the time if you haven't built those good habits early on. True wealth is not about looking rich with flashy stuff. It's about keeping and growing your money. And that training, it starts today. Which brings us to section 4, the 50-30-20 rule. If you're looking for a starting point, one of the absolutely simplest budgeting methods for beginners is the 50-30-20 rule. It's basically a giant pie. 50% of your income goes straight to your needs, 30% goes to your wants, and that remaining 20% is locked in, dedicated strictly to savings and investing. Let's break that down for college life. That 50% for needs covers your absolute non-negotiable essentials. We're talking dorm rent, your meal plans, textbooks, and basic transportation. Then, your 30% for wants covers the fun stuff. Campus entertainment, maybe Greek life dues, saving up for spring break, and hitting up those off-campus restaurants. Now, one of the biggest financial superpowers you can develop in college is learning to separate your necessary needs from your emotional wants. It is so incredibly easy to spend emotionally just trying to keep up with your friends and deal with that intense college FOMO. But smart budgeting, it acts like a shield. It forces you to pause and actually think before swiping your card for some temporary satisfaction. Then we have that final 20%, and this is what actually builds your future. Even if you can only manage to squirrel away $20 a month from your campus job, listen to me. Consistency matters so much more than the actual dollar amount right now. Starting this specific habit while you're still in university is practically a cheat code for hitting early financial independence. All right, let's wrap this up with section 5, taking control today. So, how do we actually do this? Step one. For the next 30 days, I want you to track every single expense. Yes, every single one. That campus coffee, the late night food deliveries, those sneaky streaming subscriptions. You just can't improve what you don't measure, right? Step two. Look at that list, figure out what is totally unnecessary, and cut it back. And finally, step three. Ask yourself what purchases actually add real, genuine value to your life as a student. Always, always keep this quote in mind. Budgeting is not about removing happiness, it's about removing waste. You absolutely do not have to miss out on the college experience. You just need to make sure your hard-earned, limited funds are actually maximizing your joy, rather than just bleeding away into nothing. Here is the reality check. Financial freedom does not start with investing. It starts with self-control. You don't need a massive post-grad salary to start building a budget. Managing a tight university budget right now builds the exact financial discipline you are going to rely on for the rest of your life. So I'll leave you with this. Are you ready to step up and start building your future? Because the earlier you lock down this skill, the easier the rest of your financial life becomes. In our next explainer, we'll be talking about saving money the right way. So if you're ready to become smarter with your money, hit subscribe to Next Billion, and let's start building your future, one step at a time. I'll see you in the next one.